In this video, we will briefly discuss the differences between single stacking and splitting doors, along with the pros and cons of each. Single stacking is when the working element remains on one side of the door or door frame. Typically, only the point man manipulates the door, in the case of a closed door, and slices the room prior to entry. Other terms for single stacking are single siding or same siding. Splitting a door positions the working element on both sides of the door or door frame, effectively splitting the element. Splitting allows for two teammates to work the door simultaneously. This is also known as dual stacking or double stacking. First, let's look at the advantages of single stacking. 1. Consolidation. The team stays on one side of the threshold. If the door becomes contested and the team needs to bail, it's simpler to do so. 2. Reduced crossfire risk. Reduces the risk of crossfire and fratricide if a threat immediately exits the room. 3. Flexibility. More viable in various environments as it's not as restricted by space constraints. However, single stacking has its drawbacks. 1. Limited control. With the point man slicing the room solo, control is limited, especially in center-fed rooms or negative corner-fed rooms. 2. Crowded doorway. Forward security falls on the number 2 man wingmanning the point man, leading to crowding of the doorway. 3. Limited options. Fewer options for working the room and entry techniques. Now let's move on to splitting doors. Splitting a door splits the working element in two with the door in between. When split, two teammates will be oriented towards the door and will work the doorway together. Splitting has several distinct advantages. 1. Greater control. Two team members working the room provide greater control, especially in challenging room layouts. 2. More options. Offers more flexibility in working the room and various entry techniques. 3. Optimal forward security. Allows for more comfortable and effective forward security positioning. Although splitting has distinct advantages over same siding, there are also several disadvantages. 1. Splitting the element. Intentionally placing uncleared space between team members can be problematic if the door becomes contested. 2. Space constraints. Requires ample room to execute safely, which isn't always available, especially in residential buildings. 3. Safety risks. Potential for crossfire and fratricide if not done correctly, including risks from deflections and ricochets. In summary, both same siding and splitting doors have their unique advantages and disadvantages. Same siding offers simplicity and reduced crossfire risk but limits control and options. Splitting provides better control and options but requires more space and careful execution to avoid safety risks. Generally speaking, splitting is preferred over same siding as the advantages greatly outweigh the drawbacks. However, the decision to split or same side will rarely be up to the team but rather dictated by the environment and the context of the situation. For example, in a residential structure, you will rarely have room to split. As with most tactics and techniques, it is rarely one or the other but rather context and environmentally dependent. As a result, teams should have established SOPs for both splitting and same siding and should train both consistently.